Good morning, everyone. The sun is out. There's some very light clouds in the sky, but it is pretty much clear. Take a look at the water. I'm just going to do a little bit of a walk this morning. Got the sun at my back. I can see my shadow on the ground. I get the camera up high so I can block the sun. Okay, so my topic for the day is you need to let your light shine. Just like that sun. That sun doesn't even have to think about it. It just shines automatically. And you ought to be the same way. You know, we're told you don't light a light and put it under a table. You put it on top so that it can provide light for everyone. I can think of a couple of people that I know that it's like, you're too perky this morning. I'm not ready for it. I haven't had my cup of coffee yet. Go away. Okay. Almost to the top. Well, let me get out of the sun so you can see me. Counterproductive for my message, but it works better for the video. See, the thing is with the sun, it's so bright that even when it's not shining on us specifically, it provides light. Okay, now that I'm up here, let me get my second glove on. There we go, see. Okay, we are told to be able to give a reason for the happiness and joy that we have. Have you got a good reason? Well, first off, you got to show the happiness and joy. Then you can tell them about Jesus, but what are you going to tell them? You got to have a reason where you can get into the fruits of the Spirit, but you got to explain the Spirit. This is not necessarily rhetorical. You have to have a reason. You can tell them I'm this way because of the love of Jesus, that the God of the universe sent his Son to earth to save the people, to give them a way out that they don't have. All the attempts in the past have failed. The laws have failed. Jesus came to fulfill the law and to do away with it once and forever for those that believe in him. The normal people that are out there that don't know Jesus, they're just going about their daily work, trying to make enough money to survive. And that's going to become very important here soon. I went to the market 2 days ago, I guess, when I got in here. Prices are up again. I should have spent $25 and I spent $68. But you can still smile because it doesn't matter if it's $200 million a day to survive. God can supply that. Now, that's a ridiculous amount, but God owns everything. Now, I probably wouldn't be a good person with that much money, so he's not going to let me have it. And most of us wouldn't. We wouldn't know how to handle that. Look at what happens to people that win the lottery. You never hear from them. Or if you do, if they do a story on them, they could even be homeless by the time they get to them to do a story. They take all that money, they blow it real fast, and then they're back to where they were before. And most of these people would not be Christians because Christians would probably give a lot of it away. And a lot of people give it to their families. Let me get behind this tree. There we go. But still, we wouldn't know how to deal with it. We wouldn't know how to deal with unlimited resources. Now, you need to try to practice what it would be like to have unlimited resources. Next time the offering plate goes by you, don't put your rent money in it, no. But if you were going to go out to dinner and spend $100, skip the dinner and put the money in the plate. And see what God will do for you. Now, you can't just do it and go, okay, I'm sitting there waiting, God. Come on now. Where is it? Help me out. If you needed the money, you shouldn't have put it in there. Needed, not wanted. But if you put money in there that's in your overage, anything you've got left over, you put it in there, 10%. Now, if you don't have 10% because you're spending too much, that's something you have to get with God on. Yeah, it's still cold enough that I can see my breath. We have to tithe. I'm not giving you an excuse not to, but I'm saying you have to adjust to be able to do that. If you're living at the end of your rope, then you either need to get a longer rope or let go. Or slowly climb out. Or all to tithe. Pastors who are in a church tithe. Yet they're getting their money from the church, but they're giving it back. They're 10%. They could say, well, let them just take the 10% out. No, but then they're depriving you of the ability to give it. Okay, let me get back over in the shady area here. Now, your money doesn't all have to go to a church. If you're involved in a church, they, of course, need your resources. But if you give to, the Red Cross, or you give to other charitable organizations, that's fine. It can total up to 10%, but there's no limit. God doesn't say, give me 10% and no more. We're talking about having your situation where you have enough left to give. If you're paying for new cars and new homes and new whatevers, and you don't have any money left to give to God, then that's your problem. People are still going to be in need whether you have the money or not. Okay. Let's get back to shining your light. If you go into a completely dark room, completely dark, and you're walking from a lit room, you go through the door and you close the door behind you, you can't see a thing. You feel for the light switch. You find it, you flip it on, and wow, you can see. That's how we should be. When Moses came down the mountain after talking to God, he literally shined. We should be like that. People should see us walk into a room and immediately feel the warmth of Jesus in you. Now, if you walk into a room and it's got a demon in it, he's not going to be happy. And we know what Jesus did when they confronted him. He told them to get out, and they did. We are in better shape now than when they were first going around. When Jesus was still here, they didn't have the Spirit in them yet. So when they were trying to cast out demons, a couple times they got into trouble. Scam call coming in. Decline. But we have the Spirit now, so they can't come up to you and say, we know Paul and we know Jesus, but we don't know you. We have the Spirit in us now to be recognized. Demons will know that. And they will probably be leaving the room as you come in. They don't want to stay around. They don't want to be confronted by it. Because they know what Jesus will do. So everywhere you go, you're carrying this light. Use it as often as you can. Now, even in the daylight, you can still see the sun. I know that's somewhat rhetorical, but the bottom line is, it doesn't matter what the temperature is, what the lighting is, what anything is. The sun's going to bring warmth, and it's going to bring light. Now, I may still be in 30-degree weather right now, but I can still see the sun. And you should be like that. We all should be like that, everywhere we go. There are times that I've walked away from a meeting or walked away from seeing somebody and going, wow, they acted like they knew me, but they didn't. It had to be Jesus. They could see Jesus in us. And for that very same reason, comes a pick-em-up truck. For that very same reason, we'll be able to see the Antichrist. Once he starts doing things, now we know he's alive and well and doing things in the business world probably, but he's not indwelled yet. Nobody knew who Hitler was before he came to power, and the Antichrist, or Satan, I should say, came into him. Hitler is a little a Antichrist, not a big A. But Satan gave him the ability, the power to do what he was doing. And you see how well he was received. The Antichrist will be the same way, received very well. And when he's indwelled by Satan, we will recognize him. So we can't be here. Another indication that we have to have an early rapture. Everything is peaceful around me right now, but the world is not at peace. And I talked about it in my last video, we got control of the House in the United States, but we don't have the Senate. The majority of the people, if it was an honest election, the majority of the people in this country are not Christians and don't want to be. That's sad. When we were founded as a Christian nation. If it was dishonest, then the bad people won. The bad people won in both cases. It doesn't matter. It's probably our last attempt. So when's the rapture? I don't know, but you got to be ready for it. We're getting all kinds of signs that it's near. All kinds of things that are being set up. The chessboard is ready. Who's going to make the next move? That's all we're waiting on. We are ready for the rapture right now. So it could come tonight, today, whenever. Some people say, well, it could be a year away. It could be, but I don't know that the world can last that long when you look at the things going on. We almost had World War III when that Russian missile landed in Poland, but they don't want war over there. They know what it'd do, and it's also coming up on winter. Who wants to fight in this cold? When I was in high school, I lived in Reno when I went to high school. We have winter. We get snow there. It's up at a mile high almost. Nobody wanted to play football in the winter real big. Summer's okay, but winter, you get hit when you're cold, and it hurts even more. See, I'm still seeing my breath coming out here. I'm going to see if I can stand with my back to the sun without getting my face in it. Let's turn around. Okay, I don't want to get too much sun, but there we go. I can see my shadow on the ground. Can I see it? Yep, there it is. So the sun's on my back, but I'll stay with my face away from that so you can see me. All right. Get out there and shine your light. Come up with the things to say. Imagine what questions they could, or if you don't know what questions they might ask, do it and find out what they ask. And then if you don't have an answer, say, if it's somebody you're going to see all the time, well, I really don't know how to answer that. I'm pretty new at this, but let me go check it out and I'll get back to you. Now, you shouldn't do that because you don't know how long that person's going to live. You should have those answers. So come up with some. Go online and Google, what should I say when somebody asks me why I'm so happy as a Christian? Google it. There'll be some samples up there that you can follow. The best thing to do is to have them from practice, but if you haven't practiced, go out and do it. I used to ski. If you tell me you're a beginner and you've never fallen down, then you've never left the clubhouse. You're going to fall down. You're going to fall down repeatedly, whether it's ice skating, skiing, roller skating, walking as a baby. You're going to fall down, but then you get right back up and try it again. And then eventually you don't fall down. And if it hurts a little bit, it's encouragement not to fall down. Get out there and try it. Talk to people. You go to the market once a week, at least. Be extra pleasant to your checkers. Say, have a blessed day when you're leaving. And, you can go back to the same one if you're making headway. But if they brush it off and ignore it, go to the next one the next time you're through. Don't go through the self-checkout. They don't understand. People you see when you're walking along the street. Smile. Say good morning, good afternoon, whatever it is. Be pleasant. Imagine what Jesus would do when he was walking around. People would follow him. Now, there were always people there that were there for the handouts. But a lot of people follow him. All of us apostles, how can you come up to somebody you've never met before and say, follow me? And they would. They'd leave their work and follow him. You've got to have a personality for that. And that personality is inside of you, waiting to get out. All right. I might do a Bible study after this, I don't know. We're waiting to see if it warms up enough for me to turn the pages. Still got my gloves on. Have a blessed day and share it with at least one person today. Ask God. Tell him to bring somebody to you that you can talk to that will help you get started. You'll survive it. Now I have to take my glove off so that I can push the button. Until we meet in the skies, God bless. Last time I was up here, there was no sunshine, so let's see what it looks like when we got the sun out. It's a bit of a climb to get down there, but people can. If you come over here, there's a rope to let yourself down or pull yourself back up. Still a few leaves on the trees. That's a hardy tree for them to still be there. The orange ones, they just haven't fallen off. But this one here, still a lot of green, but you can see they're brown on the edges. Different people help contribute. This is a county park, and it survives on the fees that we spend here, which aren't much. I don't see anything but squirrels this morning, but yesterday I saw 6 deer in the park. And the reason I saw them is all those bare trees. You can see through them and see movement. Here I am. Let's go see what this sign says. Chattahoochee River winds 436 miles through the state of Georgia. Chattahoochee is a Creek Indian word. Creek is an Indian tribe name that translates to painted stained rocks. And let's see, what do we got? There's a rock there, but there's a bunch of rocks down in the river. I'm not exactly sure where the rocks are that's named for. And it's a gentle mountain stream near Brasstown Bald in northeast Georgia. It is a tall, high mountain, if you can call these eastern mountains mountains. Last time I was at Brasstown Bald, a number of years ago with Scouts, and it was snowing so hard, it was a blizzard coming from our camp. We went from our campsite all the way up to Brasstown Bald, and it was snowing, windy. At some point in time, we got tired of fighting our way through that, and we just said, let's just stop right here and put our tents down. These are backpacking tents, so they're not like mine down there at the bottom of the hill. These are the little ones you crawl into and lay on the ground on a mat. We didn't even fix dinner. It was too hard to do with that, so we slept, and in the morning we got up, hiked the remainder up to the top, and then we met the rest of the troop that came up there by car. So I'm used to the cold. You just got to have the right things to deal with it. Okay, I'm trying to hike down this steeper side, steeper than when I come up the other way. All right, so we got a little amphitheater here. I can go over here and preach a sermon from the little stage here. There we go. all the people there can enjoy it. Hopefully. Only if God is inspiring it, that is. One thing I can't do is I can't lead the music, so somebody's going to have to do that. We'll sing a song about shining our light. All right. Time to head back in and make me another hot cup of tea. Blessings.